Welcome back. We continue live right here on Pittsburgh CW. Bob Pompeani and Gene Collier with you. 412-575-2600. That is the number of the Borders and Borders hotline right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. And baseball, again, we saw the Dodgers eliminate the Braves, who had a 2-1 lead in that game. Dodgers came back. David Freese got the game-winning hit. And, Gene, I don't know about you, but David Freese was a perfect pickup for a team like L.A., just because he's a veteran, been through it. He's had some big hits in the postseason, and he seems to play his best baseball in those situations. He had a chance today, and he cashed in.
Yeah, I mean, he would be Mr. October if that name had not been taken. He's delivered so many big hits, you know, for the Cardinals and other teams in the postseason. Another big hit today for the Dodgers. They'll play the Brewers starting on Friday.
What about Garrett Cole? You saw him over the weekend.
I
just
did.
Mowed down Cleveland Indians.
His breaking stuff was just unbelievable, unhittable. People taking huge swings, at pitches that were nowhere near the plate.
99 miles an hour, too. He had 12 strikeouts, no walks, 7 innings. His last pitch was 98 miles an hour. Astros wrapped it up today in a 3-game sweep against Cleveland as well. All right, let's go out the line, too. Kick it off. We got Nick in Greentree. Hello, Nick. Welcome to the Sports Call.
Hey, Bob. How you doing?
Well, how are you?
Good. I just want to say one thing. Steelers are getting 3.5 against Cincinnati. Bet the house on Pittsburgh.
They typically play their best football in Cincinnati, but I got to tell you, Cincinnati showed me something yesterday. They were down 17-0 at home, and typically those teams lose and get booed out of the building, which there were boos there. But
I think the Steelers got it together.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're going to have to play the same way. And keep in mind now, thanks for the call, Gene, Cincinnati has some pretty good weapons, not just A.J. Green. They lost Tyler Eifert, who's a big loss for them, but Tyler Boyd has emerged as a really good number 2.
Absolutely, and Andy Dalton, going into this week's games anyway, had the best passer rating in the division. So yeah, the Bengals are formidable. They get Vontaze Burfict back for this game. I expect another unbelievably violent Bengals-Steelers game. But I agree with the caller. I think the Steelers will win that game.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but that's the first of 3. I think they're going to win the next 3, actually. I feel pretty good about them. Although I got to tell you, Cleveland, their defense is for real. They played really well yesterday. If they can get any sort of sustained offense and a field goal kicker who doesn't miss as much as Joseph and the previous guy had missed, they might have already won 4 games to this point. Yeah. They've been to overtime almost every game they play. Yeah,
and they have the same record as the Steelers, and they had the same result on the same day as the Steelers all the way through these first 5 games. But you're right, Bob. Here's a big stretch for the Steelers. Bengals, Browns at home, Ravens on the road.
Ravens, it's always tough to play there. We have some tweets in. Ed Miller says, what do you guys think of Drew Brees' latest record? Should there be 2 records? I'm not sure what he's asking there. Tonight, in case you missed it, Drew Brees became the all-time NFL leading yardage leader as he made a beautiful pass, 62-yard touchdown. He needed 35 yards, and it looked like, Gene, I'm not saying this was just...
Yes, you are. Just say it.
It looked like it was like, okay, Drew, here, take it, get rid of it. Not unlike Michael Strahan getting his 22nd sack. Remember when it was almost like the gift? Just lay down and take your sack.
Brett Favre, right? Well, in this case, as I said to you before the show, I mean, if he has 71,000 yards, he'd have 140,000 yards if everybody was going to cover the way the Redskins covered on that play. But the Redskins have shown over the years that they're perfectly capable of breaking down in coverage time and time again. So it smelled okay to me.
All right, back to the Lions. We have Jerry in Hempfield who joins us right now on the Sports Call. Jerry, go ahead.
Hey, Bob. Finally, this division the Steelers in is looking really good because I predicted Cleveland was going to win 5 games this year, if not more. They won 2 already, and they should have won 3, beating Pittsburgh. And Cincinnati, if they don't make stupid mistakes like that, to lose a game at the last second against the Steelers, I don't know if the Steelers are going to win this division. I mean, they looked good the other day, they did. But this division is really looking good, and I think the Steelers are going to have a really rough road going through this. They might just come in second, and maybe third.
They might. But here's the thing: they're 0-1 in their division right now. They can't afford any more losses in the division if your aim is to win the division. That's why I think they're going to respond this week. I think they feel good about what they've done. And it just seems to me, Gene, every time they go into Cincinnati, something weird happens, and it typically benefits the Steelers. So I'm counting on that again.
The Steelers are very comfortable in Cincinnati.
Line 2, it's Jan in Natrona Heights. Hey, Jan.
Hey, Bob. Listen, I'm an avid football fan. I watch the college football and the pros also.
Great.
I'll tell you what. I think Cincinnati has a fantastic quarterback in that Oh,
Andy Dalton.
yeah, Dalton, Andy Dalton. I watched that kid when he played for TCU.
Mm-hmm.
He's an excellent quarterback. So they got their work cut out for them this week.
Yeah, they do. It should be a good game. Cincinnati is better, and they're really starting to believe in themselves, and I think that's the difference. And, Gene, they made up a big deficit yesterday. Like I said, I've watched Cincinnati enough over the years to know that normally they just fall apart in those situations. They didn't. They came back and scored 24 points in the fourth quarter.
It's a good sign for them, but they did it on a couple of fluky plays, I thought.
Yeah, but they did it. That's always
the
a start. Just like Cleveland winning against a team in the AFC North, they finally did it.
Right.
And it could be the start of something.
It changes a lot.
It does. Pat in California. What's up, Pat? How are you?
Oh, not bad. Bob, what I'm calling about, I watched that game about the Falcons and the Steelers yesterday. I thought the Falcons' defense and offense was not really that great because it seemed like that when the Steelers was playing them, it seems like the Steelers managed to get in, and I think the quarterback was holding the ball too long. And what I'm going to ask you for your opinion, Cincinnati, they got a real good defense and offense. Now, this will probably be a true match to the Steelers to see how their defense and offense is. Your comment, Bob.
All right, Gene. Thank you for the call.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think this is, an important game, even though that's an oxymoron for both teams. The Bengals are 4-1. They're at the top of the division. The Steelers can essentially move within a game if they win. If they don't and they fall to 2-3-1, then things are going to get difficult. So it's important for the Steelers, and it's a good matchup. I agree.
Harmer is our next destination. We have Kurt on the line. Hey, Kurt, what's up?
How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Go Steelers, go Pens. Hey, listen, Pirate fans need to pray for snow. Snow, snow, snow. This guy's hemorrhaging $40, $50 million a year in these ski resorts he's bought. He spent over $150 million purchasing them. No snow. It costs a lot of money to make fake snow, and it doesn't stay snow when it's 40 degrees out. He is losing tons of money. Pirate fans, pray for snow.
Gene, your comment. Thanks, Kurt.
I don't know anything about that, but I do know that the Pirates had the worst attendance they've ever had at PNC Park. That usually translates into a decrease in payroll. So we'll see, snow or no.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction. I think the Pirates are going to go out and spend more money than people are going to believe, and I think it's going to be on offense. I think they're going to either make some trades to acquire some bigger. They need to do it. They have too much pitching. They know it, and at least it looks good on paper, so they'll add to it for a chance. And if you're going to compete with the likes of Milwaukee, and look what Milwaukee did this year. They spent money on a free agent in Kane, a lot of it, and they brought in Christian Yelich on a trade where they gave up a ton of assets to get him, and he turns out to be the MVP of the league. Sometimes you got to go out of your comfort zone. I have a feeling they're going to do that this year. So,
well, they made a big play at the trade deadline, which nobody expected. So, maybe they're tired of seeing all those empty seats over there, and they're going to, try and change their approach to these things. Have to wait and see.
We'll see. It's going to be a busy off season. At least you hope so. We'll be back with more right here on Pittsburgh CW.